Hello, Chuck and friends. Hello, hello. Anybody out there? Woot, woot. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have fun tonight. It's gonna be messy fun though. Messy, messy fun. Are you ready for messy fun? So the other day I showed you a couple of different, I don't even remember why I was showing them to you. Oh, we were using the watercolor technique with chalk, and I don't know how I got on the conversation, but I brought up the alcohol ink backgrounds. So I thought, and some of you are new since we did an alcohol ink background. It's something we've done before. It's very fun. It's so easy. I say that now and watch, it'll be a complete nightmare. So it always works that way, right? But it's really easy to do. It's really fun to do, and it's really unique. And it makes, I think, a really beautiful, kind of one-of-a-kind design, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But it's really cool, like really cool. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. So I think I keep pushing the wrong buttons, I'm sorry. It doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of extra supplies. There we go. Now I've got you. Hello, Linda. Hello, Carol. Hello, Linda Squared. Okay, so I showed you these the other night. So these are made, it's a glass, it's just a picture frame. I mean, it's nothing fancy. It's a wood picture frame that I take the piece of glass out of it, and on the back side of the piece of glass, I use alcohol inks to make the design, and then we chalk the sentiment over it on the front side of the glass. It gives it a really cool, very unique look. Now this one has a piece of white paper behind it, because if you take it out, it's, you know, it's see-through because the inks are opaque, are not opaque. So they're see-through. So I'm going to show you how to do this. This is another example. And if you look at these two kind of next to each other, they're very different. And I'm going to show you why they're different. It's the technique that I used to create them that made them different. And I'm realizing I don't have one of them to make that other technique, but I think we're only going to have time to make one. Hello, Melissa from Canada. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so I have a frame. Oops, I got the things underneath it. I take the frame apart, so I have my glass, the backer, and the frame. I set these aside. Because I don't need them yet. I don't need them till the end. And what I need is my piece of glass. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to clean off my glass. I wonder where my little dropper guy is. We might have to play with this a little bit, because one of my ways... Thank you, Miss Linda. It's one of my very favorite things I've ever chalked. In fact, if you're ever looking for a fun craft with kids, it's permanent ink, so you do have to be careful with it. But the whole rubbing alcohol mixed in with alcohol inks has some really cool effects, especially if you do it on tin. So last year for our kids, you all know this, if you're a regular viewer, you hear me talk about this all the time. I've always been in charge of the art projects for our school, our elementary school, that they auction off at the end of the year every year. And each class, it's like 400 individual pieces of art. And last year, one of the projects that we did was we took tin and we used the same exact technique, only we did it on tin instead of glass. And then I cut, so the kids blew it with straws. It was really fun. It was a huge mess, but it was really fun. The kids had a blast. But they blew the alcohol inks with a straw, and they each created their own design, and then I cut them into tin flowers, and we made a tin flower garden. It was really cool. So it's a really fun thing to do with kids because there's a lot of applications to it. Alcohol ink is expensive. I've had mine for so long, and they last forever, Linda. I want to say they're like $5 a jar. But I like to buy the sets where you get the 3 colors. So I like to buy the Tim Holtz brand, which is, I think, pretty much what I've got here. I've got all of these, again, because of the art project for the school. But they come in, Tim Holtz will do it at, you know, that Michael's place, where you buy a set of 3 inks. They're coordinated to go together. And I want to say if you use your coupon, they're not bad. But, you know, it's all relative when it comes to crafting, right? I do also believe you can do it with I've not tried it, but I also, and I was thinking about it today, actually, that we should try it. If you use alcohol markers, which are also expensive, but if you have those around, you can do it with plain old washable markers. You're just not going to get the vibrant colors of it. And then you would probably just spray it with water. So kind of the splash technique that we've done, which is what these are. You know, these are splash technique on canvases that were done with watercolor markers. So you do get some vibrant colors. So you could do those too. That's really inexpensive. I have those, but kind of nervous to use them. You just have to be careful with them, Linda, because they're permanent. So as you've noticed, I've got a big old towel out. I'm going to take my very nice sweater that I wear every single day almost lately off, because I have learned that you do kind of get it all over you. Maybe not all over you, but you know, probably wearing gloves is usually a good idea. Rubbing alcohol does remove alcohol inks. So if you get it somewhere that you don't want it, very similar to Sharpie. If your kid ever colors on your kitchen counter with a Sharpie, not that I've ever had this as a personal experience, a few times maybe, rubbing alcohol will take Sharpie off of stuff too. So you just gotta be careful with them. So I didn't even really think this through very much. Like, I should have picked out my colors before I hit the live button, but I was just so excited to hit the live button. And I've learned that if you put a bunch of colors together, sometimes you just get brown. So I don't use the yellows. I use orange very sparingly, because it does totally kind of give you brown if you're not super careful with them. So I think we're going to use indigo, blue, and green maybe for our first one. Because that's the other thing I will tell you is once you do this, it's slightly addictive. And then the next thing you know, you're alcohol inking everything. I had to put them away. I had to put them away and get them far, far away from me. So what you need is you need alcohol inks, and mine are a huge ginormous mess because, again, the kids used them at school. But this kind of, if it'll focus, there we go. I don't like this color. You can tell I don't like this color because it's not messy and dirty like the container of the colors I like. This is kind of a brown-green, this lettuce color. But this is what they look like, and again, I buy them in sets of 3 of coordinating colors, and I stay away from the oranges and the yellows, just because when you put orange and yellow together, you get brown. So, there's this other one. I think this is indelible ink. Incredible. I don't know what that means. Incredible ink. I've never used that one. I think you can use any permanent ink. It doesn't have to be, well, I think you need the alcohol for the rubbing alcohol to react with it. Okay, so what you do is you take your piece of glass, you take your inks, and it's been a long time. I should have opened them. So they have like a, you know, a little top to them. And you cannot screw this up because it washes off. If you've ever noticed, Maria has a theme when it comes to crafts that Maria does. It always involves, I can remove it, not always, but 90% of the time, it involves me being able to remove it when I mess it up. And this is a darker blue. Right. I think we're going to go with the darker blue. Yeah, I like the darker blue. Hello, Nevada Nicole. Hello, Terry from Texas. Hello, Miss Desiree. Hey, Amanda. Okay, so this is really easy. So what you need is you need glass. You need, maybe we're not going to use this one. I'm not going to get this one open. Oh, I am. Whew. I had my spinach today because I'm Popeye. Okay, not. I did not eat spinach. can guarantee you I did not eat spinach today because ew. Who has memories of eating spinach when they were a kid? Cooked. Remember the little frozen block that came out of the freezer and my mother would put it in the stove and warm it up and then she'd put vinegar on it? Whew. Okay, I'm off on a spinach tangent. All right, so what you need is you need alcohol inks, rubbing alcohol in a spritzer or in a dropper, and you need air. Okay, so this little fancy contraption is our pump for our air mattresses. So we're gonna try that one. I have done it this way as well when you buy canned air. My only caution with the canned air is, first of all, the can gets super cold when you do it. And I find that it makes sometimes a bigger mess. So how much air force you have makes a difference. You can simply use a straw and blow on it too. So you need air, rubbing alcohol, and alcohol inks, and glass. Gloves are a good idea, and a protective covering for your surface. That's what I would say are kind of your must-haves. So then what you do, I mean, this is Maria's idea of crafting, right? You just drop your alcohol inks on the surface. Okay, so see how it's, and I'm going to zoom you, because it starts to spread out right away. They dry super fast, which is why you add the rubbing alcohol. And once you get them close to each other, they're going to bleed together. They do smell interestingly too. This one might be too dark of a purple. We'll see. I've never put these colors together. Because again, if you're going to do it, go live. But make sure, I like it when my whole glass is covered up. That's all you do. Now, you could just spray it. See, and they start to move. And you can get kind of like a fun little design. So that's one way to do it, where you don't even need the alcohol. You just kind of blow it. With the purple, see, and that's where you gotta be careful because you end up wearing it. You do have to be careful with this because it'll blow it right off. I think it's so cold. So that's one way to do it. I'm gonna add a little more here. Again, you need the protective coating underneath it because it's gonna bleed off of your surface. So then what you can do is then you take rubbing alcohol and you can spritz it. And now you get a whole different effect. And then again, you can add air. And it moves it together. And when you get what you don't want, you spritz it. Or you add more rubbing alcohol. But again, rubbing alcohol, as you all know, dries super fast. It's one of the benefits to rubbing alcohol. So I like to make it move. I like to spritz and move. Because that's when I find you get, I don't like the, okay, this is not a good color combination. Yeah, I don't like the color combination. We got to get rid of the purple. The purple is not mixing well. It's really turning just kind of brownish. So let's add another blue. And again, you just go, oh, that's the same blue. See, this is where I'm like, oh, next thing you know, I add orange. Don't add orange, makes brown. Oh, I can't get this one open. Yes, Carrot, you buy them at craft stores. You can also buy them off of Amazon. Oh, I love this color. We'll see what it does. Okay, so this one, I like to move them. Because that's when I think you get the really cool effects. Is when you start moving them. Now, understanding that on the opposite side of this, which is what we're going to chalk on, It looks totally different. Okay, you guys are asking questions. I'm sorry. I got to go back because you're asking questions. Oh, shoot. I missed the first part. What are we using? So, Kara, we're using alcohol inks, rubbing alcohol on glass. Yes, you find them at any craft store. I buy them at Michael's. I don't know if Joann's has them. I'm sure they do. But Amazon has them. I mean, they're not hard to find because if you are a paper crafter, you use alcohol inks. So see, on the other side, it looks really cool. Totally different than it looks on this side. It's going to be more shiny and less dull because it's the opposite side of the glass. And that's the side that we're going to ink our chalk on. I put a little more green in here. I like to fill the whole thing. And you can just keep layering and keep playing until you get the look you want. And then you can spray or not spray with the alcohol. But obviously, because it's air, do I have to heat set it? No, Kara, because I'm going to put it in a picture frame. I'm not going to do anything on top of the ink. I'm going to chalk on this side and put it in a frame. And when I put a white piece of paper from behind it, it pops off. So, Kara, this is what we're making. This is our final goal. So the ink is this side, and then I flip it over to the clean side, and then I chalk on it. And then I just put a white piece of paper behind it, in this case, based on the colors. You can ask as many questions as you want, Kara. That's what I'm here for. I think we need a little more bright. This is kind of, I mean, it's cool, right? It's super cool. It's kind of mysterious and stormy looking, right? Maybe we leave it alone. I don't know. We could add a little more blue. When you really get bored, you just go, and then your alcohol totally makes a whole nother look to it. And it will brighten it back up. And again, you can move the air if you want. I don't like the canned air. I really just like the regular air. And then you can just keep spritzing it. And then you move them. And it just gives you this very fun, oops, don't spill your inks. It just gives, and then you flip it over. See, so when you have the rubbing alcohol and you spritz it, see how you get that like bubbly look? I don't like the bubbly look. I like the smooth look. So that's where you don't have to use so much rubbing alcohol, because that's, or if you drop, I'll show you, because this is kind of just our tester one. I like the red. We're going to add a little more, oh wait, I didn't want to do purple, right? I want to do blue. Add a little more blue in our blue spots. Get some more blue on here. Oh, okay. Oh, that is so cool. Love it. Now, I'm sure, you know, there's fancy people that can tell you all kinds of other techniques about how to do this. But I just kind of like it this way, where it looks kind of stained glassy almost. And then you just let it dry. You can move it around and get it kind of, you know, more. So it's not like, oh, it looks like somebody dropped it. Okay, this is really cool now. So I'm just drying it. Yeah, Kara, you missed my warning. This is addictive when you start doing this. And it's not, you know, the inks are not inexpensive. So then we end up with this really very cool background that we can chalk on the front of. Okay, so I want to work on, and you, again, gloves are a good idea. I think I'm going to do A couple more spots here. Because it is my preference. I don't like the, and I will do that. I did say I'll show you how another technique to put the rubbing alcohol on. But you can totally just keep adding it. But that's where you do have to be careful with your colors because you will mix them. And the more you put on, the more eventually you just end up with brown. Okay. So this is our background. Super cool. I'm going to set it aside and let it dry, and I'll show you on a different one. I've got another piece of glass. Be careful once you get this on your fingers, because once you get it on your fingers, it's like ink, right? So you don't want to just go touching everything. Again, I start my glass clean with rubbing alcohol. I should just pull my cotton balls out, so I have to stop bending over to get them. So I just wipe my glass clean with rubbing alcohol. So some other techniques I'll show you real quick of things you can do. You can start with rubbing alcohol. So you can totally spritz it away. And now when you add them, they'll move or not. Maybe not. They're shrinking. Isn't that interesting? Now that's not at all what I thought was going to happen when I added them to rubbing alcohol. You would think that they would move. I mean, you can move them around yourself because now there's liquid on. I should have put gloves on. Should have put gloves on. You know, and rubbing alcohol has such a fun smell, right? Let's use a brighter color. This purple is too dark. Let's get another fun. All right, we're pulling out orange, even though I'm trying not to make brown. I'm going to pull out orange and say no brown, no brown, no brown, right? Ugh. These haven't been open in a really long time. There we go. It's going to make brown because I put the purple in here. So we'll go with more red. Try to counteract the purple. Okay. Move it. So see how much easier it moves because I have the rubbing alcohol on the surface already? So kind of very similar to like an alcohol or a acrylic paint pour. Okay, this one's really cool. So by using the alcohol inks and the rubbing alcohol combined, you can get two completely different looks. So on this one, we put the rubbing alcohol on first, then we put our dots. And it gives you this very fun background. This is still very wet. Gives you this very fun kind of lyrical background that you can chalk on. If you put it on dry glass, and then you can either add the rubbing alcohol or not, you get more of the dot look because it dries so fast. The key, how we got this more lyrical look is because it didn't dry so fast. See, now I'm going to mess that up because I'm going to move it right away. Right? It's not wet. And I really didn't want to do that. I just ruined it. Okay. So our key here, other than we got a big old blob in the middle that really is going to drive me crazy, our key here was we started with it wet. And again, you can't screw this up because I can wash this off and all the ink will come off, which is exactly what I'm going to do because that's going to drive me nuts. So I kind of like this technique. Let's try this one more time. So get your whole glass wet with your rubbing alcohol, was how we did this. Then you take your fun colors, and we did orange, kind of a really bright orange, right? And then we did some blue. We didn't do too much blue though. We did more red than blue. And then we take our, you know, kind of magenta color. I mean, I think in this sense you are kind of working with against the clock because your rubbing alcohol is going to dry. Now there's a lot of rubbing alcohol in here. And then you just, and you can go back and forth to get your colors. So I noticed that you blew the air in the same direction. Do you always want to do it the same way, or does it matter? I don't think it matters, Kara. If you don't do it all in the same direction, okay, this kind of is all one color. If you kind of do it all in the same direction, I'm just doing it because I want it to go away from me because I don't want to wear the ink. But you don't have to do it that way. So this one, let's try something. Let's just get it all wet again, like we did. And let's try doing it again because I didn't get any color here because I blew it all off. So you do have to be careful. I'm gonna add a little bit of, don't add green. Green is gonna make brown. I would just do a little green, not a lot of green. A little bit of green. So because I'm holding my air so close to it, it blows it more. So let's just try it kind of straight up and down. So this is really kind of mushing them together. I don't necessarily think it's the best color combination. But it's cool. It's super cool. Okay, so that's that one. Again, I can do this all night. It's kind of a problem. We're going to do one more. Do I have another one? Do I have another? I thought I had another piece of glass. Did I use it already? I thought I grabbed 4 pieces of glass. We must have used it already. Maybe I only did grab 3. Oh, no. Well, we'll use this one. I have one. That was for something else, but we'll use it. So there's one more way to put your rubbing alcohol on. So let's try, so they're kind of all just different shades of blue, red, and orange and green are kind of the colors I have. I just have different shades of the same colors. Okay, so this time we're going to put it on. We're going to add some green. I think these are the same green. Because when they mix, see, you can see they kind of, when they touch each other. So you can just kind of put drops of the green right into the blue. The key is not to do too much because they spread. So you want it to be done spreading. You almost want it to be done spreading and dry before you add your additional color. And I like to cover up the whole glass, but they do really spread. So your other way that you can add your rubbing alcohol, and I would do it with a little spoon, but you can drop it. Okay. So see how I got little drops? And then it just looks like rain. This is, I would do this with a straw. But, oh, you know what? We'll use this straw. Let's see if this will work. It's kind of a skinny straw. You can flick it too. So see how it's looking like raindrops? I like this technique better than the spraying it, because I think when you spray it, you get such fine little lines. Okay, so now we're gonna blow. And how close I hold my air decides, you know, with what force it goes. So, depending on how much you want it to move, either hold it close or hold it up high. You can get a totally different look with this. So with this guy, you get more like droplets, which is like really kind of cool. And then if it's too much, you can just go right back in and put a little more ink back in and cover it back up. So if you get a spot where, oh, you're like, oh, I don't like that color, just add more. And again, just move it. And then you can flip her over, and then you can chalk on it. So that's how you make a alcohol ink background. Yep. Nicole, I get better at it as I do it. You do get better at it. So, okay, so this was our first one we made. Love the colors, love the depth. I mean, it's just so cool. This one I think is lighter. So two very similar colors, but very, different techniques. With this one, we blew it pretty close and we sprayed the alcohol ink. With this one, we blew it up higher and we did drops of the alcohol ink. So same colors, just completely different look. And then we've got this one where we put the rubbing alcohol down first, and then we added, which what I would like to do is I'll show you. Okay, so like I liked this before I sprayed the alcohol on it. I really liked it before I sprayed the alcohol on it, but now I don't like it. So now what I'm going to do is spray the whole thing, like so. And it really makes brown when you do this. And you can just wash it right off. And you start with a clean piece of glass. And you start all over. Like so. So just like that, I end up with a whole new piece of glass. I can start all over. So I get it wet. So this is how we did this one, right? We got it really wet with alcohol. And then we added our color to the alcohol. I put my lids on already. Now we've got a little orange. So it's just fun, and it's a different technique. It gives it a completely different look. So when you're looking for, something different to do with your chalks, this is a great way to just kind of come up with something uniquely different. Okay, so this is what we did. And again, because it's not spreading, because the alcohol is already on it, it's hard to know, do I have enough ink on it or not? So I'm going to hold it up high. I go around my edges because I want to get rid of the brown. And the more I move it, the more I get rid of the brown. Okay. So then you end up with this kind of cool, misty look. All right, so I'm gonna let those dry real quick, and then we'll take it to the next level. We're not gonna chalk all of them. I'll just show you, because putting the white piece of paper behind it makes a huge difference in how the colors pop, I found. So I'm just gonna move my inks. Of course, this was the day I decided to buy a new table covering that's all nice, white, and pretty. Why does it always work that way? And then I do the messiest project that I ever made. And then it's like, you know what? Why didn't I leave the other cover on? Okay, so I'm going to move my inks. I'm going to move the guys that we made, because they're still kind of drying. We're going to chalk on the other side, so it doesn't really matter that much. Oops, I'm sorry. I need to zoom you back out. I'm sorry. I hope you could actually see what I was doing now that I forget when I zoom you in that you can't see everything I'm doing. And you're really crooked. Wow. Sorry, guys. All right. So, again, I don't want to ruin my pretty stuff. So, let's do this. I like this one. All right, so we're going to flip this one over. And the other thing that I find is you don't always know until it's done, like, which transfer is screaming it needs to go on here. Like, don't quit with the cool on there. Believe in yourself. So I just pulled out a couple of them. So we've got these two totally different looks. Oh, now I gotta feel like I gotta zoom you back in. Okay, so we have two totally different looks. Same colors though. Well, actually, we used a little purple on this one, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Okay, so this one has a little bit of a darker look. This is everything I ever wanted. Kindness is on. No. I'm thinking we do live in the moment and believe in yourself. What do you think? That one would be good as an ocean background. Yes. So that's what we did with the other one. I do have an ocean one, but the transfer that's on here, this is my ocean one. The transfer that's on here is retired. But I love the background on this one, and this, again, is just blues and greens in the alcohol inks. Oh wait, I was putting these away, wasn't I? Yes. We're going to do live in the moment and believe in yourself. I like them, like this is dark and mysterious to me. I like the bright and cheery, like this is. So we're going to do, open up your transfer. Pull it out. So the other thing I found is the color that you chalk makes a difference too, right? Because you want to be able to see it. I'm going to take my transfer off of its backer sheet. Oh, I don't have a water bath in here. Fuzz it. Because I'm putting it on glass. Believe in yourself for the first one. Thank you, Melissa. That's what I'm going with too. So, putting a brand new transfer on glass sticks like glue. Sticks like glue, makes it hard to position because it's so sticky. It sticks to it as soon as it gets anywhere near it. It's like a magnet. It sucks it in. Oh, you can't. Sorry. It's like a magnet and it sucks it right in. Okay. Place your transfer. I think with our color combination, we could go white. We could go dune, not camel. Camel's too brown. Or we could go storm or grayish. I'm thinking white because we'll do a white background. Just, again, for simplicity's sake, so you know if you do white, you're going to be able to see it. So you open up your chalk paste, take your squeegee, dip it in your chalk paste. Oh, you know what? Believe in yourself. The BU part, we could totally do this in two colors. I should have thought about that before I just whipped out the chalk, right? Again, can wash it off if I want to. Okay, Cover up your whole silk screen, smooth out any of your lines. Carefully remove your transfer. So now I'm chalking on the opposite side. I am not chalking on the side that has the ink on it. The ink is on the back side. Oh, I don't have a water bath. I was about to throw it in my water bath, but there's no water in it. So then this is what it looks like. And then you put a white piece of paper. I like to put a white piece of paper behind it, just because I think it makes the colors pop more. And you throw it in a frame. And you're really just doing it on the glass that came with the frame. I'm just going to stick my backer sheet in here because I'm realizing I didn't cut a piece of paper to stick in here. The last one I did, I actually just used the piece of paper that came with the frame, but I had something else in this frame, so the piece of paper is already gone. Long gone. Oh shoot, my chalk was wet. I didn't think it was going to get wet or touch it. Okay, so I have my Believe in Yourself. Now I did smudge it. So I can totally wash this off and again go back to doing this in 2 colors. But I kind of like it in the white. So that's that one. This one, let's do Live in the Moment. Again, it's more dark and mysterious. So we could do like Spring Zing, which is the green color. That would be kind of cool on the back of it. A shimmer would be cool. So I'm just kind of fuzzing. We could do, that's Citrus Splash. That is like matching perfectly. Well, let's just Citrus, oh here, so you can see it. Let's do Citrus Splash and white. Can you see it if I lift it up? Just because you can't see it if it's laid down. No, you can't. Okay, let's, there we go. Now you can see what we're doing. So we're going to do Citrus Splash because it's green, and we're going to do Live in White. Melissa says, shimmer! I don't know about, oh, you know how I feel about the shimmers. Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with the shimmers. I really do. I especially have a love-hate relationship with the shimmers when I go to clean transfers. My problem with the shimmers is the shimmer stuff gets on the back of the transfer. And it doesn't hurt them. It's a personal thing, you know. Yeah, I'll know I'm weird. It drives me crazy. Alright, so we have Live in the Moment, which is crooked, I'm noticing. So we're going to take it back off and replace it. It's very crooked. Okay, that is cool. The more I look at it, I'm like, that is, oh, this sucker is sticky. He needs a little more fuzzing action, so I'm going to stick him to my, oh, you know what? I have my brand new fuzzing towel. Let's stick him, ooh, and I can feel he's got fuzz. Not like my old one that I fuzzed out. You wouldn't think you could take all the fuzz out of a towel, but I did. Took all the fuzz right out. I mean, it took a year, but there we go. Now we're lined up, and ooh, this guy is dry. Very dry. We don't, oh no, he just looks dry. He's not really dry. Okay, we're not going to use very much of this. Because we're, well, what did we say we're going to do? We're going to do Live in White and In the Moment in Citrus Splash. Yeah, that's our plan. So I dip it in my squeegee in my white. I've never done a color over this. I've always done a white or a gray. I can't think of any time I've done a color over it. But again, it's been a long time since we've done one of these. We should go back. We should do another acrylic paint pour then. We haven't done one of those in a long time either. Those are fun. And I was just in my other part of the craft room today, and I was realizing I still have all that paint ready to go for an acrylic. Because that's the other thing I did with the little kids was we did individual acrylic. I just got it on parts I didn't want. We did acrylic paint pours with little kids, which was a mess, but oh my gosh, fun. So much fun. I kind of miss that. Going into the school and hanging out with all those little people doing art. Kids love to do art. Which is always so funny to me because I have no art. pulling my transfer off carefully because again it's on glass. Take this guy and my backer sheet so I can make the background pop a little more for you. And then we have live in the moment. The in the moment part is hard to see because it blends in too much. It should be a different color. It's cool, but it's too blendy. So these are our two fun little projects for the evening. This guy needs this frame. I'm so excited to make one of these. Kara, it's fun, but it's addictive because the next thing you know, you're going to be alcohol inking everything. It's very easy, and anybody can do these, and you all know how I feel about that. Crafting should be accessible for any skill level. Can people make this probably far more beautiful than I can? Of course they can. Because they probably know the real techniques and how to do it. But you don't have to have all that tons of skill to make beautiful things. And that's what I love about chalking, is you don't need a ton of skill to do it. Ooh, you've never seen a paint pour? Kara, those are so easy. Messy. Not really, again, if you're controlled, they're not, they're not like, oh my gosh, so messy, but they can be if you don't control your environment. And you do it with a lot of little kids. You can make a huge mess with a lot of little kids in the classroom, yeah. But even then, they did a really good job. I gave them little itty bitty tiny canvases. They had 2 by 2 inch canvases, and each one of them had their own creation that they poured, and then we created a big piece of art for the class out of all their little individual pieces. It was really cool. Okay, I'm just cleaning up my chalk while we're talking. So backgrounds are just, one of those ways to take your supplies and use them one more way. So I found a new way today that I am experimenting with. I tried it for the first time today. It's a new medium that we can use our transfers with that isn't a Chalk Couture medium. So I'm testing it to see, because I don't want to tell you about it and then find out it, isn't really something that you can do. So the advantage to it is if it works, which I should know tomorrow if it works because I did a bunch of them today, is, you can put it on ceramics and it's food safe, where our ink is not food safe. I don't like it so far. I've done it a couple times today and it's really runny and it bleeds really easy because it's not, it's not meant for our transfers. So I'm messing with it to see. The one I did make that turned out is really cool though, so we'll see. Because food safe is kind of nice. Then you can do platters and stuff. I'm rambling. Okay, so this is what we've got. Alcohol inks on one side of the glass, and then we chalk on the other side of the glass. I'm going to redo this one because I messed up when I got it. So here, see how you can see I touched it to the towel when it wasn't dry. So I'm going to wash that one off and redo the white just so it's more crisp. And I probably will take the in the moment off because it's hard to see. And probably redo that in white as well. Just again so it can pop off because they're so pretty, right? And they're very unique. They're so easy to make. All you need is a frame. Everybody's got a picture frame hanging around their house. You need the inks, but you only need 3, and you really don't even probably need 3. You could do 2 and mix 2 of them together to get the 3rd color. I just like the look of the 3 colors. So you need 3 of them, and you need rubbing alcohol. And again, other than it's messy on your hands, you gotta get it off. Rubbing alcohol takes it off. Just make sure you cover up your surface and don't wear clothes you like. Because if you get it on your clothes you like, you're not gonna get it off. Because this is real ink. That's all I got. So thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you have a super fantastic Thursday. And I will be back at you tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. I'm Making Maria. If you want to check out any of these amazing products, you can go to www.chalkcouture.com/makingmaria. And you can see this is Believe in Yourself and Live in the Moment are the transfers that we used here this evening. And we used bright white chalk paste. If you are not in the VIP group, you can come and add me and I'll get you in there. We're doing a bunch of fun things in there right now. Currently there is a bundle special in there for surfaces. They're mysteries bundles where you get a bunch of surfaces for a really good value. So if you're not in the VIP group and you want to be, you can come and add me and I'll get you in there so that you can check those out. That's all I got for you tonight. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you tomorrow. See you guys.